Hello all, hope you're well. I haven't done anything for a while, but just wanted to do a little one on the endocrine system. I'm not a doctor, I'm not medically trained, so bear that in mind. I'm not advising you to do anything. Whatever you do is up to you, but you can do research. That's the only thing I would advise you to do. And so the endocrine system is the system where all the glands that produce hormones in your body, basically that's what the endocrine system does. It manages all the hormones in your body, but yet we're going through seeing a lot of this transitioning information. It's non-information really, because nobody's mentioning your hormones. If your hormones are out of balance, you're going to feel different things. You're not going to feel normal. You're not going to be functioning normally. For example, if your thyroid is not producing enough of the hormone to make your thyroid work, your metabolism and all of that, then you're either going to lose weight rapidly, or you're going to put weight on rapidly and find it difficult to lose. So if somebody goes to the doctor with that, the doctor says, oh, let's get your thyroid tested. You know, if you have got diabetes, oh, let's test your insulin levels and see what your insulin's doing, because insulin is the hormone that regulates blood sugar and tells us whether or not it's working properly, and whether or not you're diabetic or not. So if you think you're diabetic, you're getting symptoms, you go and have your hormone levels checked. This is normal. A doctor will do this without a problem. But what happens is if a child says, oh, a boy, oh, I feel like I'm a girl, and I'm trapped in a boy's body. At this point, bearing in mind that from, say, 11 to 20, you're doing two transitions, the real transitions. You're doing a transition from child to adolescent and adolescent to adult. Children produce different levels of hormones to adults at different times of their body. So you're going from being a child to where you're not fertile, to being your fertility starts. So your hormones have to change in order for that to happen, and they level out. But if you're not eating a clean diet and you're not drinking clean water, you can get hormonal imbalances leading up to your period every month for girls. Everybody knows about PMT, surely. I mean, I shouldn't have to explain that. And there are various things you can do that help you to not get PMT, that can reduce menstrual cramps and all of this. So if you suddenly think, oh, I'm a boy trapped in a girl's body, or I'm a girl trapped in a boy's body, what does that tell you? It tells you that there is almost entirely a hormonal problem, and that you should be referred to an endocrinologist who is a specialist doctor of that system to have all of your hormone levels checked, and yet they are not being checked. And I don't believe that this is in any of the so-called education, LGBTQ, excuse my French, bollocks. So, I get that teachers are not medically trained. I get that they're not nutritionally trained. However, they're teachers. They're being entrusted into educating our children. So surely they should have some gumption. I mean, I would have thought so. They should have some idea. But you know, we do find now that a lot of teachers are young. They don't have children of their own. They don't have a lot of life experience. It's just a nice, convenient job where you're never going to be out of a job and you're always going to get paid. And if you fancy a pay rise, you can strike and, you know, with all your colleagues until you get a pay rise. But I don't see any of them striking about this disgusting part of education that's been introduced. None of them are striking. So it just about tells you what they're really about, and that they don't really care. Because if they did, they would be saying, hold up a second, I'm not medically trained. I'm not nutritionally trained. However, I do have a lot of knowledge about holistic nutrition because it's been a personal interest of mine for the last 25 years. But, you know, a teacher should be teaching children to ask questions. They should be asking questions themselves. This is what learning is about. You can only learn by asking questions and then researching. But they don't want you to ask questions. They definitely don't want children to ask questions. If children ask questions, they're told to shut up because they're interrupting the lesson. They're told not to question things, but we should be questioning things, everything. And this is part of the planetary shift. So this is why I don't want to be paying attention to the old, in the sense of I don't want to be paying attention to living in a world full of transgender people, because I'm not going there. But as part of the shift and part of bringing people into awareness, go get your hormones checked. There's a massive problem and you start thinking things that are really not normal. It's not normal for a girl to think she's a boy trapped in a girl's body, or vice versa. That isn't normal. I'm not saying that these people are not normal. What I'm saying is that in terms of hormones, they're imbalanced. They must be imbalanced because this is not normal. And being gay or lesbian is not the same as being trans. It is not the same. That's a sexual orientation that's different to it's different to trans. It's different, and it's caused by a hormone imbalance. I do think as well there is an element of hypnosis, because these people that are coming in and talking about it, and teachers in general, you can look this up, share this with your teachers, share this with your doctors. This is a fact. They speak in a hypnotic tone, just like the newsreaders and radio presenters and TV presenters. They all talk in a certain tone that's hypnotic, because that's how they help. That's how they teach. It's by basic hypnosis. And half of them don't even realise as part of their training that they are speaking in this hypnotic tone, but they are. So it doesn't take much to do a bit of research. I mean, you can research anything these days. I'm not saying everything that you find on Google is true, but a lot of it is. And there is a lot of information, and there's a lot of studies out there on PubMed, etc., that, you know, are real studies. So it's not hard to find them. You can literally find these studies within 10 seconds through typing in a few words onto Google. So it's really important that to understand as well that children from around about age 11 to age 20, they are going through two very natural transitions, from a child to an adolescent to an adult. And it's a very short time, 10 years, and a lot can go on. And there are chemicals in the water, there are chemicals, pesticides, herbicides in the foods. So, you know, you have to be mindful of what you're eating. And if you pay attention to eating a clean diet and drinking clean water, then that's great. You know, do that and focus on that. And but you know, you've got all these school canteens. Most of them are selling very, very small amount of raw food, i.e. fruits, vegetables that are not cooked. And they're all selling fizzy drinks that are full of endocrine system disruptors, artificial colours, artificial sweeteners, etc. You know, if you're a teacher and you taught your kids to read, tell them, read the ingredients, okay? Then go to Google, get on your computer, on your keypad, type it up. Side effects. What is this ingredient? What does it do? If you can't pronounce it, don't eat it. Don't drink it. It's as simple as that. Some people are religious. They believe in God, source, higher source. God brought forth all the fruits of the field, and that for you to eat, i.e. all your fruits. Fruit is the main best thing to eat. It's not 5 a day, it's more like 25 a day. 5 a day is a bit of a joke on top of a load of cooked food. That's not going to work. You need to be eating fruit on an empty stomach. And I mean, if you're eating a lot of fruit, you actually don't need to drink that much at all, because the water that's contained within fruit hydrates you so much so that you don't need to really drink a lot of water. And H2O is not the same as the water that's in fruit, which is H3O. So or H3O2, and then it converts to H3O in the body. So drinking your fizzy drinks, alcohol and whatever, I mean, kids obviously are not drinking alcohol, but with people that are older, you for example, menopausal women, your hormones are you're going through a natural transition from an age of childbearing to an age where you're not childbearing anymore, and you're moving into your later years of life, and you are going to get hormonal imbalances, because the hormone levels in your body have to alter to accommodate the changes that are happening. And sometimes you can get some really steep hormone changes, like steep curves, if you like, before they eventually balance out. In a sense, it's a bit of trial and error. So if you're eating a lot of chemicals, your body can just, these are disrupting your hormone system, your endocrine system. And whereas if you're eating a clean diet, generally you transition much easier and on a much more straight level, i.e. there isn't much of a curve, so to speak. But if you're eating a lot of crap, then your body's out. It doesn't know exactly what to do. It gets stuck. It's not getting the right raw materials to produce the hormones. So it's really important that we know that we're going through teenagers, from children, teenagers to adult, that these kids are going through a very normal transition, but they're being their transition, which is normal, is being disrupted by chemicals. So the best thing to do is eat as cleanly as possible and bring yourself into awareness, so that things that are not natural don't keep popping up into your reality. So that when you're thinking about eating natural and all of those things suddenly come in to your reality at an affordable price, in readily available, that your local shop sells them. Those are the things you want to focus on, so that your children can go through a normal transition. And it isn't normal for schools to be bringing people in to keep pushing and telling kids about feelings and all this kind of crap that they're talking about with this LGBT stuff, because they should be teaching kids about the endocrine system and about hormones, not all of this bullshit. So, you know, go onto Google, show your children about it, show your teenagers, and show them why, you know, show your girls why they might be getting PMT. Well, because, you know, you want to keep drinking Pepsi at break time. You know, get some water, darling. It's not hard. The same with the boys. You know, eat foods that, you know, if you've got a boy saying he feels like a girl, then they need to be eating more testosterone, foods that help them to produce testosterone. It's, you know, which is the male hormone. So it's quite an easy thing to actually remedy. And you don't actually need to be a medical doctor. You don't need to be a nutritionist. There's lots of information out there. You know, as I said, you can, I mean, we all know this. We've all got the internet. Most people have got a phone. Most people have got internet connection at home. And most people have got a laptop or a PC, a tablet, etc. So get the children on there and do the research. Let them find out. Let them swap their fizzy drink that's got artificial sweeteners, artificial colours, loaded with sugar, etc. Let them change that for water and then see how they feel and see things change. But if there is a really big problem, then you should be referred not to an LGBT counsellor who's going to feed them a load of bollocks. You should be going to your GP and saying, we want to be referred to an endocrinologist and have all of our hormone levels tested. It's really not hard. So, and then doing the things that you need to do, incorporate into your diet. It's like mental health problems. Again, it's caused by, a lot of the time, by eating, because things like serotonin that make you feel good and not depressed, it's made in your gut. If you're eating a load of shit, or you're taking antibiotics, or, you know, your gut microbiome is going to be off, and then, you know, you're going to feel bad and you're going to feel depressed. You're going to have a personality that's going way up here and way down there, you know, and you can change that, but you have to make an effort, and you have to bring yourself into the awareness that most of what you're being told is a load of rubbish. But yeah, basically our children don't need to be going to LGBT counsellors. They need to be going to see an endocrinologist and find out where their hormones are at, and then make the dietary changes that they need to make. I mean, I'm not saying that all of this is diet. You know, I know that there are, you know, there is some element of it could be trauma based, but, you know, in that situation, then, you know, hypnosis can be very useful. I mean, teachers are trained, they don't even know they are, and they use a very hypnotic tone. Storytellers, newsreaders, all these kind of people, they use a specific tone to talk to you, to bring you into an alpha state of consciousness where you are basically under hypnosis. This is what they do in the schools and places where you're learning and teaching. And half the time, the people that are actually delivering these teaching programs to people, they don't even realise that they're using this tone to hypnotise people, but they are. So, you know, all of us really need to come into awareness about this. And hypnosis can be very useful, but not if you're giving the wrong information, or if you're omitting information and not giving all of it, you know. And if kids are not allowed to ask questions, and they're told, oh, you're disrupting the lesson if you don't just listen to everything that we say, and you're going to be tested on that, and you must answer just as we say that the answer is. No, this is bullshit. So yeah, I just wanted to bring that little just to trigger some thoughts for you about this, because I don't think anyone is mentioning this, and it's really important. So in knowing that we are going through a frequency shift at the moment, part of the frequency shift is being able to access information and becoming aware of information. So yeah, that's all I had to say on it. Please go and do your research. If your teacher thinks LGBTQ is okay and to go and do lessons on that, share this with your teachers. And hopefully they will take it away with them, and they'll start to think, oh yeah, actually, you know, it wasn't that hard. What on earth are we teaching this for when we should be teaching the biology of this? It's biology. It's chemistry. It's not hard. Not bring them into an LGBT learn a load of bollocks lesson. Let's give the kids an extra biology and chemistry lesson and show them how their body works and what happens if their hormones are off. It's not hard, is it? Tell the doctors. Why are the doctors not referring to endocrinologists and getting hormone levels tested? Why? It's not hard. It's not hard. It's probably some... it's a blood test or a urine test. It's really not hard to test hormone levels. You know, if somebody goes in and they've got symptoms of diabetes, what do? They test your insulin levels. They see where your insulin's at, your blood sugar levels, and what happens when you eat certain foods to see whether or not you're producing insulin. Insulin is the hormone that regulates blood sugar. So, and if you're not producing any insulin, you're diabetic, and you need insulin shots in order to control your blood sugar level. So please think about this. Show your friends, show your family, show your teachers, show your doctors. This is common sense. Stop furthering an agenda, because it's like birth, you know. For example, people, medical professionals, midwives, obstetricians, etc., they get